Hello, friends. So I'm going to give you some more information about new features in Shri Jyoti Star 10. These have just been released, 10.146. 10.145 came out a week ago, and it already had these amazing new powerful tools for working with the conditional dashas. And today we have some more dashas. These are Varshphal Dashas we're going to discuss in short. And so let me just show you some things. Firstly, we'll start with uh, a chart. And the best way of working with these dashas is to create a Varshphal chart right from the data entry. So we go to the data entry. Here we are. So we're going to look at a Varshphal chart for our current president. So to do a Varshphal chart, we can, you can create Varshphal charts in the main screen, but they apply to just that object that you created. But if you want to study it in detail, you want it to be applied to the whole page. So we click OK plus special. You see it says Varshphal, Titi Pravesh, etc. So these are all the different types of annual charts and some other cool stuff. So we go OK plus special, and the first thing that comes up is usually Varshphal. We can do other things, and these are different Pravesh charts. I did a series of videos on working with Titi Pravesh, Yoga Pravesh, and Nakshatra Pravesh, and showed how it's a system, it's a complete system, along with the Varshphal, for understanding annual charts. But some people are just starting the Varshphal on its own, that's fine. Some people study the Titi Pravesh on its own, totally fine. And then this is for the annual chart for the planet or for a particular location. So we'll go back to the Varshphal, and we're going to do it for this coming year. And you have a choice of a true solar return or a mean solar return. In India, they tend to use the mean. I think in the West, they tend to use the true solar. We'll just leave that. You can change the location if you want to, but normally use the birth location. We click OK, and now you'll see up the top here, you have the VP chart for 2025. And this means that anything we put on the screen that has a blue heading, see blue here and red here. Red headings go with this, and blue headings go with this. Now you can put the name on the top of these charts and tables, but the blue heading and red heading are quite convenient. So here, for example, is this year's eclipses, because it's 2025 and not 1946. Now, let us have a look at these new conditional dashas, because at the moment, what we have here is the chart. This is the Hora chart. Let's go for the regular chart. So this is the chart for the year for him, the Varshphal chart. And, well, of course, the moon is well placed. Saturn is well placed. Mars is quite well placed. Jupiter is well placed. Maybe quite a good year for him. But of course, it needs a lot of detailed study. So let's see how, because the way you work with a chart like the Varshphal chart is there are various techniques. But first you have the chart, and then for timing, we have these dasha systems. First, let me show, suppose you want to look at this in a South Indian chart. This is a new feature that's been added. We can right click, and we can go down to this chart. And then we say, okay, South Indian. So there's the South Indian chart. Okay, so now let's suppose we're going to put there are three types, actually there's four types of Varshphal Dashas. There's the Patyayani Dasha, which has been in Shri Jyoti Star for a very long time. So I'm going to leave that. And then there's the Muda Dasha. Well, a Muda, there's a big table for Muda Dasha, which has also been there for a long time. And it has the plus or minus is that it automatically makes the software produce a Varshphal chart. And you can control the year also from that table. But there's a small version of the Muda. If we click here and we search on Muda, you see it says this is the large version and this is the small version. And when it says progressed, what it's saying is that the this is the progression of the natal chart. It's not the 2025 moon, it's the progressed moon from the natal chart, one nakshatra per year. So that gives the Muda progressed dasha, Varshphal Dasha, for this year, 2025, for the chart in question. And you'll see in this year, it's starting from Rahu, and then it goes through the whole sequence: Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Ketu, Venus, Sun, Moon, Mars. And when it gets to the end of the year, Rahu would start again, but we don't consider the beyond 1 year because the Varshphal is for the annual, it's an annual chart, it's just for the year. And this software allows you to look into the sub-periods. So we analyze the chart, the Varshphal chart for the year. We see the yogas associated with each planet. And then from the dasha, we can see when those yogas are likely to be impacting the native and his world, So this is the Muda progressed. And then we have the Yogini progressed. Now the Yogini chart Yogini dasha is already there in Shri Jyoti Star. And this is a progressed dasha, which is, again, it's the same system. We're taking the natal moon, progressing it 1 year per nakshatra. And you see he's starting this Yogini dasha in Jupiter. It goes Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Saturn, Venus, Rahu, Moon, Sun, and that's the end of the year. So this is a sequence in the Yogini dasha. So those people who are, expert in this can use this dasha. And then I should say one thing about Yogini dashas. The Yoginis are these fierce forms of the Devi. Yeah. They were created by some yogi or yogis for certain purposes. And they've been greatly, used by these tantrics for very questionable purposes, to the point that the Shankaracharya actually closed down the major yogini temples in Orissa, which is where the major ones were. And so generally it's advised not to use the names of the yoginis. We don't really want them showing up. But there's a planet associated with each yogini, so that's what's used in the dasha here. And then we have the Hadda dasha. Now the Haddas are a special feature of the Varshphal. By the way, we can just type VP and you'll see, all the dashas here. So we have the Hadda progressed dasha, same system. Only the thing with the Hadda dasha, or the Haddas, is that each Rashi is divided into 5 parts of varying lengths. And so what's happening is we take the ascendant Rashi, and that gives us the 5 parts, each having a lord. And then the ascendant has progressed a certain distance, so it'll fall into one of these Haddas. So it'll have a certain lord. So that lord will be the one that starts the year, and then it cycles through the sequence of the 5 for that Rashi. So that's how it works. So you see, there's only 5 periods in the year. Here, Jupiter, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Mercury. And this is how the Hadda dasha is done. So we have these different dasha systems. Those people who have studied Varshphal should know how to use them. And they give different kinds of insights into the annual chart. So I'd like to thank you very much for listening to this video. I'd just like to mention that in September, from the 4th to the 7th, we have, for the first time in 5 years, a live conference in London for the British Association of Vedic Astrology, bava.org, bava.org. And the keynote speaker is Pandit Sanjay Rath, who will be teaching a number of topics which he's never taught before. No one has really taught them before. So even though they look a little obscure, they're in fact fundamental Jyotish topics which can be applied to many different applications of Jyotish. And this is very exciting. He's rarely launching into an absolutely new topic. So This is going to go on for 4 days in London. Then in the following 2 weekends, we have it online. So we invite you all to participate. We have got a fantastic lineup of speakers, more than we've ever had on Barber before. So we're very excited, and I hope you are too. So just go to barber.org and check it out. Thank you very much.